Video here, and in this video I'm here to document the last remaining remnants of the ex-Central of Georgia / ex-Southern rail yard here in Athens, Georgia. I'm not going to give away the exact location of it, but I'm currently here standing at what would have been the entrance point of the yard. You can see the only remaining entrance track here and a bit of rail that was pulled here. Yeah, I'm going to walk and give you guys a bit of an idea of where everything was. As you can see, here's the track right here. Recently, I remember coming on here I remember as far back as 2008 there still being railroad tracks spiked down here, and unfortunately, and more like very recently, I'm saying like a year to 2 years ago, they came in and just obliterated everything that was left. And I mean everything. The yard was obliterated. It was really the tracks that were in front of the depot and back here. In fact, here you can see some remnants, tie plates, spikes, joint bars, ties. I'm going to walk the full length, including what the last remaining bits of the yard that are actually still fully visible and unrecognizable. But I'm currently walking where there would have been close to probably 2 to 3 railroad tracks coming in at one time. I'm currently walking that distance. Right here you can see where there are still some ties and some, I think there's switch bars or gauge bars, one of the two here. And you can just see where they came in and just tore up everything. They took the rails out. They left the tie plates and the spikes. That was it. Here you can see a gauge bar here that I was able to pull out of the ground right here. A few tie plates I found. I saved one railroad spike here and have since marked it as to where I got it from. But I remember in 2008, and I came back here multiple times when I was with my grandmother. I've come back here countless times. I remember walking down all of this when all the track was still here. Now remember, there was a switch right here, right where I'm standing. And they came in and dug it out and tore it up. Probably scrapped what was left. I remember as recent as late 2016, early 2017, there was still rail laying out here that they had pulled up, and they've since come in and hauled it off for scrap. They didn't get all of it, though. There was a frog point that was buried. In fact, here is one of the piece of track is still intact here. If we continue walking, there's still some spike plates and all that have been left here too that they missed. They missed a lot, but I'm glad they missed it. But where I'm walking, there would have been, at this point in time, there would have been 3 tracks here. One here, one dead ahead of me, and one alongside of me. They tore it up, all of it up, just to build this dang path. I really don't like that. They could have left the dang trackage in. What I showed you guys in Athens yesterday, the day before yesterday, I guess could count as what they could have done. Frankly, I wish that's what they could have done, period. But it wasn't to be. I remember. And I first saw these railroad tracks here back in 2007 or 8, when they had a model railroad days thing being hosted at the depot there. And that's what got me started in this. And even after they stopped hosting the event, I kept coming back for the railroad tracks. But anyway, they would have continued on through this way towards the Seaboard System, now CSX bridge there. And of course, like I said, all of the trackage here is pretty much gone now, because all that's left of it now is really railroad ballast that I'm walking on here. But if you look right here, there's the only bit of track that still is, I guess you could This is the only bit of railroad track that is still in front of the station. It's right here. And as you can see, I mean, when the yard was closed by the Southern, I think it was either Southern or Norfolk Southern, they came in and just buried the trackage. Over time, all that dirt just got washed away and it just became visible again. But let us now continue the walk. So, I mean, basically the railroad tracks, whatever was not pulled up, has since been buried under the parking lot here and all these other buildings. So I'm sure if a railroad company comes in and wants to rebuild this yard, I don't think that'll ever happen. But if it does, they'll probably come in and tear all this stuff down, except the depot, of course, and they'll probably just end up coming in and bringing all that trackage into the light again, if you could say. And this is my second attempt at filming all of this, because when I played the video back, I found that the audio and video were not synced properly. So I figured I'd try and come back again to do another retake of it. Anyway, really the only remaining evidence of a rail yard even being here is here at the very back of the property. I'm going to take y'all back here in a minute. That is the CSX overpass that's the former Seaboard System overpass, now CSX overpass from this yard. Over there is another area where the railroad tracks crossed under the server warehouse that was there. Nothing remains of that spur. I'm gonna have to be careful going back here, because I've always tried to come back here when all the kudzu's down. But as you can see, it's starting to come back in full force, so I've only got one shot at this. And I'm gonna have to be a bit careful, because I don't know who or what is back here. You can see there's pathways here from where people have come in. Anyway, right here is the first bit of track that's shown, or that's visible rather. And there's 3 tracks here. This one here, where you can see the other railhead there. If I walk back out again, difficult to see, but there is another railroad track that's there, and then there is this track right here that's visible. Now keep in mind, the yard was partially destroyed when they first closed it. They came in and ripped up some of the trackage to build the parking lot, but as you can see, the parking lot is not at the original ground level, so the trackage is buried where they didn't tear up. And here is the first bit of trackage that comes into view. The track to the left there branches off to a railroad trestle that's been torn out. It goes over the street that leads here, and they came in and tore it out. It made up of a railroad wire for the yard to turn the trains around. But here is where you can see where they tore up most of the railroad trackage here. In fact, over here is a frog point. So if you do this, you can bounce it up. So as you can see, the rails are suspended. But there's a switch back there. But if you look here, you can see the other railroad tracks there. And I don't know how I'm going to get to them, but I'm going to go and try and attempt to get to them. I'm trying to make this quick because I really don't know, like I said, I don't know who or what is back here, and I'm a bit worried. So I'm just trying to be careful. If anyone does ask, I'm just taking pictures. Just taking pictures and leaving it at that. Here's the rest of the tracks here. Now I don't know if the yard had a track here, but I don't think that was the case. You can see pathways here. Here you can see some debris from this is debris from the original bridge abutment that I guess failed or collapsed whenever, but you can see there's a huge ravine here. Now I don't know if there was any railroad tracks here at one point. I doubt it, but yeah. Someone brought a TV down here. Gonna go and watch the telly, eh? Anyway, here's the other railroad trackage that is here. You can hear a diesel locomotive from the CSX idling above me. But you can see here where they came in and pulled up some rail here. There probably would have been a frog point right in here, or where the rails merged in. Right here is the mural that I like. Shout out to the artist who made that. That's a really good design, really beautiful. Now there's the track over there that continues towards the bridge. Like I said, it's the span that went over the street has been removed, but they laid it beside the tracks. Now I'm currently walking in a sea of dead leaves and kudzu currently, but you can see here where they just cleared all this out. That's amazing. I don't know what they're going to do there, but there's a downed telegraph pole there that's visible whenever all this is dead. But there's a downed telegraph pole here, so I'm going to have to be careful trying to scale this here. I don't know no one's joined the stream yet, but it's okay. But anyway, here is the switch. There's the locomotive up there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. But anyway, the railroad tracks continue on that way towards the present-day Athens Line Railroad, which is former Southern Railway, Central of Georgia trackage. I don't know if the tracks still continue all the way up to the connection point where the connection point used to be, because the switch was torn out, but you can see where that track would have merged with this one going up towards there, and it went back into a single track. But here is the railroad switch that's here. This is the only remaining switch stand still in the yard, and it was built in 1942, and it's not currently held down by anything, but I'm glad it's still attached to the railroad tracks and buried it under kudzu. When I first got back this far into the yard, I actually was able to throw the switch, and the track actually still moved, so everything is still mechanically operable. Now, I'm going to have to come back next winter to see if all this is still clear. I can try and see if I can walk it, but I don't know. I only have an hour to get all this done. Yeah, no, it's a no-go. That's impassable. There's really no way I can get through that. Besides, I don't even know if the railroad track is still in place, because a part of it's covered in ballast. So I really don't know. But you can see the rail here. It's covered up by vegetation of all types. But anyway, I'm thinking it continues forward because the track looks like it's still in place. You can see a depression there and there. So I think the railroad track's still in place. So I figured I'd try and come back and redo this stream since it's pretty much, yeah, dead. I don't know what that is though. What is that up there? Probably an old security light. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of this stream. I figured I'd go on ahead and do it now, since I had to restart it anyway. So, yeah, I will Oops. So yeah, till next time, and in the words of the Terminator himself, hasta la vista. Never mind, there's a train coming. Well, never mind, this stream just got interesting. Talk about love. That is pure luck right there. It's an auto rack. Perfect way to end off my stream, really. I won't end it now that the train came. There's Pulaski Heights, where I normally rail fan. Two Conrail cars, there's one, there's the other. And he's slowing down considerably now. Oh, well, there's the end of him. Oh! Oh! Major slack action. Did you guys hear that? Wow. Truly a perfect ending to a perfect stream. See y'all when the next train comes around.